Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, so for folks who are rewatching this recording, you didn't miss much. But we're just starting off with the map of the fairgrounds, which this is going to show some of the main components here. So where we enter off of Carpenter Road, we're parking for volunteers and for festival attendees. And then the Peterson barn here is marked on the right side of the map, and that's where the majority of our volunteers will be during the day. And so that's where we'll be packaging our plants, and that's where our station with our hot tea and our coffee and our lunch, all of that is all going to happen in the Peterson barn. And so this is just a quick layout, and after the fact, prior to Saturday the 4th, Jay will send out more information, and we'll make sure to share the map with you so that you all know where you're going. And if you have questions beforehand, you can connect with Jay about that too. Okay, so one more map. So this map shows a little bit more of what the layout for the festival is going to look like, and sort of the flow of traffic. So you can see in this map that these orange squares that have numbers are all going to be our vendor booths and community partners. So we have a good number of folks who are coming, which is really exciting. The blue are going to be where we have our food trucks. The yellow is the stage. And then the top green square is where folks are going to be able to order and pay for their plants. And so that the drop-off zone, that area is going to be where the line is. Which if you've attended our plant sale in past years, you know that in the beginning, when it first starts, we usually have quite a long line, which is really exciting. And we're hoping this year that people will be able to order their plants and pay for their plants and not have to stand in line too much, and have the opportunity to go enjoy the festival. So that's our goal for this year. And you all are going to be a big part of helping us meet that goal. So thank you. And then the second green square at the bottom there is where folks are going to be able to pick up their orders once everybody in the barn, in the white barn there, has packaged their plants. So we'll have one of our staff members down there that is going to have some sort of amplification system, and we'll be calling out order numbers for folks to come pick up their plants there. Okay. So some festival day logistics. These are questions we get from our volunteers often, and so I just wanted to cover them, but if I'm missing anything, let me know. So for parking, there is the general parking in the location that I noted in the first map. We also have more accessible parking if that's something that would be helpful to you. So just let us, or you don't need to let us know. We'll make sure that that's marked on the map. So that there is it's going to be a little bit closer of a walk. Refreshments and lunch. So in the morning, we will have coffee, tea, pastries to make sure that you all are well fed and warm, especially if we have the kind of weather we're having right now. Who knows? And then for lunchtime, we'll be providing our staff and volunteers with macaroni sandwiches, and there will be some gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegetarian, vegan options. So hopefully we'll cover the wide variety of dietary restrictions there. But if you have anything beyond that, feel free to let us know, and we're happy to figure out how to accommodate that. And then we ask that you bring a reusable water bottle. We will try to have, or we will have sort of a water dispenser like igloo set up where you can refill your water. But if you can have something to drink out of, that will be great. And if you forget it, we will have some cups and things too. So it will be okay. There are restrooms there, and the bathrooms are heated, and there's warm water, which is really nice because when it's cold out and you're packaging plants, sometimes it just feels good to go sit in there for a couple minutes and warm up. But they are painted like a cow, so they're hard to miss. We will make sure that you have all the supplies that you need for packaging plants. And so we'll provide you with gloves. Usually folks need scissors and Sharpies and staplers and pens. So we'll have lots of all of that. So no worries about bringing anything like that. Just make sure you have whatever you need to feel comfortable for the day, whether that's, boots or warm jacket or gloves, or we'll provide gloves, but if you need warmer gloves. So day of logistics. So when you filled out the volunteer form online, there was an option to choose that you wanted to volunteer for the full day, or if you wanted to volunteer for the first half or the second half. So I believe, and Jay, please correct me if I'm wrong, our first shift starts around 9:30 and ends at noon. And the second shift starts at noon and ends at 3 p.m. Is that correct, Jay? Did I get that right?
I think on the form it says the first shift is from 9 to noon, and then the second shift goes from 1 to 4. So we have a little bit of buffer on the ends there for setup and tear down.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah. So our actual event is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. But we would love to have our volunteers there a little bit early so that we can go over everything in person one more time. And we could use a little bit of support with setup and cleanup at the end of the day. So 9 to noon and 1 to 4, or potentially you signed up for the whole day, which thank you so much. We appreciate it. Okay, so I think that covers that portion. So now we are going to run through, so I'll talk about setup and then I'll hand it over to Jay to talk about some of the roles that our volunteers will be helping with. So like I said, setup is between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. and we'll have all of our staff there. And if you're able to make it, between 9 and 9:30, we really would appreciate some extra support. Some of those tasks are like helping our partner booths and our vendors set up, whether that's helping them put up their tents or, moving chairs and tables, putting up signs. Jay will probably plan to do between 9:30 and 9:40, another run through with volunteers of the exact setup while you're in person there to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and knows what they're doing. And so I would definitely recommend being there by 9:30 so that you don't miss that. But there'll be a variety of different types of tasks that we'll be doing. And so we'll let you know of the morning of what the need is. Okay, I think that's my portion right now. I might jump in a minute to share some more, but I will. Oh, actually, I have one more thing. Forgot about this slide. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the flow of our customers, which I did mention a little bit, but people will stand in line where our order takers are going to receive the orders and take payment. And then as most of our volunteers will be what we're calling plant runners. And so they'll be packaging our orders for the day. And so they will take the order form from our order takers, fill the order in the bag in the barn. And that order will get checked by some of our quality assurance staff is what we're calling them. And they'll just double check because it's really easy to make mistakes when all the little plants are tiny and they look really similar. So we'll have somebody doing that. And then as you're packaging the plant, we're encouraging customers to go enjoy the festival, go walk through all the booths, get a coffee, get lunch. And so there's no need to rush or feel like, in years past, they've been waiting in a line for their plant. And we just want to, everybody to be able to have a chance to enjoy the festival. And so we are really just going with quality over quantity. And so that's kind of a good idea of what the flow of our customers look like and how that impacts our volunteers. Okay, now I'm going to hand it over to Jay.
Now it's my turn. Yeah, thanks, Kiana. So the first volunteer duty, and like Kiana mentioned, the job that most of you will be doing is plant runner. So plant runners will be responsible for receiving order slips from the order takers after they've been placed by the customer. So then you'll use the order slip to fill the order using the plants provided in the barn. All the native plants will have a photo, a number, a common name, and a Latin name provided so that we have multiple ways of kind of checking to make sure we're grabbing the right plant. The plants will even be laid out in the order that they appear on the order form. So that'll be helpful too, because you can kind of just go down the list and say, okay, check, 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 check. Once you fill the order, then the plant runner will hand off the orders to the order checker, like Kiana mentioned, who will then make sure that the order is correct and complete before they, hand it off to the customer. Please make sure to communicate if we are running low on any plant species. Our inventory tracker will take care of most of this, but we want everyone to be on the same page. So if you grab the last of a species, let me know. And Kiana, do you want to maybe talk about the one plant thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah.
Yes. So one thing we like to note, so you'll see if you haven't volunteered at our plant sale before, you'll see on the 4th when we have the plants all set out. But when they come in a bag, they're all packaged and bundled beautifully. And we open those bundles because people usually buy, one or maybe 2 of a species of plant. And when you open that bundle, you'll see that the size of each plant is very different. Some have a circumference that's like this, and some are just itty bitty. But each is one plant, and they will, grow to be mighty. So we like to remind folks who are packaging that if somebody ordered one, it doesn't matter the size of the plant. We just give them one plant. Even if it's a little bitty one. And that is to ensure that, our new tracking system that we're trying out this year, to make sure that we are sticking with that. And if we, give them 2 plants because one's really tiny, then that'll mess up our tracking and could affect somebody down the line who might be thinking they're getting a plant and paying for it, and then we run out before we realize it. So that's just an important thing to keep in mind that I wanted to point out. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. And then I just want to, reinforce that idea that we really want everybody to, take their time, enjoy, doing this. It's really fun to all get together and package plants together. I have a lot of fun when I do it. And so we want, to feel like you aren't rushed and don't feel like you have to be super speedy, but, take your time to make sure it's accurate and that we're packaging plants right. Okay, yes. Go for it, Jay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, most importantly, accuracy over speed. Like I mentioned, if we are running low on a species, you can let me know, or any of the lead staff. And I actually wore my sweatshirt tonight to kind of represent and show you guys what we'll be looking like. We'll be in these bright sweatshirts. So yeah, if you ever need staff, look for someone in the yellow sweatshirt. And of course, ask questions too. If you are in the barn and you are unsure of something, please just grab me and ask away. So you can go to the next slide, Kiana. The second job is to prep the mulch. Now this can certainly be a job that's a job on its own, if any of you are interested on the day of plant sale. But primarily, I think we kind of talked about this being done by plant runners as the day goes on. So mulch prepping is another duty that we consider to be physical. Mulch preppers will load mulch into the bags and will use those bags to prep and pack the orders. The mulch preppers will also keep the bare root plants moist throughout the day. That's kind of their responsibility, but I think that can be on the brains of everyone who's volunteering that day. Okay, let's make sure the plants are taken care of. And we'll have Mara, Kiana, right, to kind of monitor that. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of the mulch prep. There's not too much that goes on into mulch prep. Like I said, plant runners will probably be partially responsible for prepping mulch bags. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can go to the next slide, Kiana. Thanks. And finally, we'll need 1 or 2 volunteers to help with parking. This one's pretty straightforward. You'll help direct traffic to available parking spaces and direct folks to the festival space once they've left their vehicle. This position will have 2 Thurston Conservation District staffers there to help. Kendall and Adam will be there. So you won't be on your own. You'll have guidance from TCD staff. And I think that's pretty much all I need to say about parking. And you'll want to direct traffic to exit out the main gate too. I think we'll be able to have 2 gates available that day, one for entry and one for exit. So yeah, we can go over that the day of too. So those are the primary roles. Like I said, most of you will be filling the plant runner role. At this point, I think, does anyone have any questions about volunteer roles? Okay, well, I'm sure questions will come up, so please let me know. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to working with all of you next week. You know, in the meantime, if you have any questions that pop up, feel free to email me. I will drop my email in the chat right now, just in case anyone needs it. And with that, I think I'll hand it back to Kiana.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to mention before we open it up for questions is that I think most of you filled out the online form where you signed up to volunteer. And so if you did that, you don't need to worry about this because our liability and photo waiver is built into that. But if you were invited to join this webinar by one of your friends or you didn't fill out that form, I will put that in the chat in a moment, and we just would like for you to fill that out so that you don't have to do it the morning of. You don't have to worry about it, and it's all done. And also, I just want to note that if you don't want your photo taken, please let us know. Just just let Jay know, and we'll make sure that that doesn't happen. We just we like to take pictures throughout the day, and we love to feature our volunteers, but we don't want to do that if anyone's uncomfortable with that. So that is helpful for us to know. And then we have our contact information here. And so you're welcome to give either Jay or myself a ring or an email if you have questions or you just want to talk through anything before the event. We are always available. But other than that, I think I will stop the share here, and we'll see if anybody has questions. And if there is anyone that is so eager to be one volunteer or the other, you're welcome to drop that in the chat or unmute yourself. If you're I am your person for parking, you can let us know. Naomi, do you sign up for a are you talking about the role, which role you sign up for?
No, I'm talking about the time, morning or afternoon shift.
Okay. Yes, it's up to you, but it is in our form. Did you fill out the volunteer form online?
Oh, I did. And I remember I signed up for both, but I'll email one of you guys with my preferred time.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there any other questions? And I'll just put that form in the chat really quick here so that if anybody wants to refresh their memory or hasn't had a chance to fill it out. Awesome, Shelly. We will make sure you are a plant runner. Thank you. And thanks for being available all day. We appreciate that too. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks again for taking time this afternoon, evening to let us chat with you for a few minutes. And we're really excited to have you all join us on the 4th. And again, if questions come up, let us know. Otherwise, we will see you then. All right. Bye, all.
Allison says, is it okay if I bring an additional volunteer with me? Absolutely.
That would be great. And if you could get them to fill out that online form beforehand, that would be ideal. If not, we can also do it while we're there too.
Thanks, Allison.
You should stop the recording.
Yeah.